Greetings, fellow horror fanatics. Welcome to Horror Boulevard, where we specialize in everything horror. Today, I'm going to kick off our first top 10 with a video I've been wanting to make for quite some time. Today, I'm going to be ranking all 7 of the Child's Play / Chucky movies besides the remake because it just released the same as like OG Chucky. Um, yeah, but so anyway, so hopping right in at number 7, we've got Cult of Chucky. This might be a little bit of a shock, but I absolutely despise this movie. I thought it was just horrible, and like honestly, the multiple Chucky thing was just so dumb. Um, I'm still gonna watch the TV series, continue off of this movie anyways, though, because I wouldn't be a true fan if I didn't. But honestly, man, Cult is just it's such a bad movie. Nothing about it was good. I mean, except for Fiona Dorff, because I mean she's just actually amazing. She's such an amazing actor, and God, she looks like Brad Dourif. But man, I just don't want to stay on this one for too long because it really just wasn't good, and I just don't really know exactly what to say about it. So, anyways, coming in at number 6 is none other than Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky had an okay plot, but it was just the simple fact they were trying to make it a comedy that completely, and I cannot express this enough, completely killed it. But like, it wasn't only just that, but the movie was insanely cringy and just cheesy overall. The jokes were bad. It was the jokes were just terrible, and the fact that Chucky and Tiffany were like actual actors within the movie, it was just like a movie within a movie. It was just such a trash concept, and they tried to do what Scream did, but did it somehow worse. Um, Almost everything about this movie is bad, and I really think it's earned its spot here at number 6. So, uh, I know you guys really aren't going to agree with me on this one, but coming in at number 5 is the very original Child's Play. This movie was actually pretty good, and I'm not trying to throw shade at it by putting it number 5. I just think that there's 4 movies better than it, honestly. This movie was the movie to kick off such an amazing franchise, and that alone should tell you how influential a movie this is. Now, let me explain what's at number 5. This movie is so predictable, like honestly so predictable. You can almost predict every single scene in that kills me. Also, wasn't there like security cameras back in 1988? I mean, sure they would have seen him on one of those security cameras. But I mean, like, all in all, the movie is pretty okay, but it's definitely not amazing. Again, not trying to throw shade at it. I just really think that there's 4 Chucky movies like way better than this. Uh, yeah, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't amazing in any way, shape, or form. But anyways, coming at number 4 is Curse of Chucky. The first time I watched this movie, I didn't really like it, but after I rewatched it to make this list, I found that I love it. This was honestly Chucky's big return to horror, and it delivered, man. Like it really delivered. Um, seeing as this movie was released right after Seed of Chucky, which was again one of the worst movies within this franchise. Um, there's just a lot riding on this movie. You know, coming off of such a bad movie, it people weren't really so excited for this one because they were like, "Oh my God, Tiffany! Oh my God, Glenn/Glenda is gonna be so bad." But it was completely different, and it brought it back to its horror roots, but more modern. Um, the good thing about this movie is that it's just pure horror, like I said earlier, and it just wasn't any comedy, or hardly any comedy, I should say. As I stated earlier, the comedy aspect is what ruined Seed of Chucky. So to see them focus on horror was just actually amazing. The casting was really good. Cause it was featuring Fiona Dorff, who is Brad Dourif's daughter. That's really good. And like the cool thing was is that they kind of had like a backstory with Charles Lee Ray and all that, which kind of put an emphasis on Fiona Dorff and Brad Dourif's relationship within this movie. But Not only that, the plot was amazing. It had a really good backstory to it, like I was saying, about Charles Lee Ray and all that. Just about everything in this movie is amazing. But like the bad thing about it that like really knocked down number four to me is the fact there's just so many plot holes in it. By that I mean like the timeline doesn't match up with like the original Child's Play timeline. But besides that, it was a really good flick. So that being said, at the number three spot, we got Child's Play 3. So, what else I have to say about Child's Play 3? I might be a little bit biased putting it up this high because most people don't really like it all that much. Um, but I might be a little bit biased with this one, seeing as it was the first Chucky movie I've ever seen. But besides all that, it really is just a super underrated film. This movie is a great mix between comedy and horror, and out of the original Child's Play trilogy, this is by far the goriest of them. From people getting their throats slit with scalpels to people getting crushed inside garbage trucks. This movie brings all the gore, man. Uh, a good thing about this movie is that it kind of showed like a new perspective on Andy. Like we kind of got to see him grow up from now until Curse/Cult. But yeah, it follows Andy like quite a few years after the events of the second movie, because he's like a lot older now. He's in his late teen or mid to late teens. Uh, yeah, it's just a really good movie, man. I don't really know what to say about it. It had probably the second best Chucky death in it too. It had like all the flashing lights and him flying into the fan. I love that part too. But I mean, this is just an insanely good movie, and I think that people should really quit giving it all they hate because it definitely doesn't deserve it. It deserves a lot more love. Coming in on Finally coming in at number two is Bride of Chucky. This movie was honestly damn near a masterpiece. Uh, and not only that, but it changed the way people saw Chucky. Before Chucky was just a scary doll, mainly serious all the time. Before Chucky was honestly just a scary doll, mainly serious all the time. And this movie turned him into a humorous character, which a lot of people hated, but I loved because it delivered so many classic one-liners. Uh, I didn't hate that he was serious all the time. Like I loved how like they gave it like a new light. And I know like earlier I was complaining about how he was too humorous, but this is like a perfect mix, man. Because he wasn't like Seed of Chucky's type humorous, He had like one-liners and stuff, but it still brought it back to like its horror. Like it still had good gore and good kills and all that, but it was also very humorous, which I loved. Uh, but not only all that, but this movie introduced a character who gave Chucky a deeper dive into the person he was before. It introduced Tiffany and showed that Charles Lee Ray really wasn't a sad sack after all. But anyways, overall this movie is insanely good and should be viewed by every horror fan at least once. And finally, coming in at number one, of course, is Child's Play 2. This movie is an absolute masterpiece. I mean, what's not to love about it? The kills are awesome. The characters are awesome. The plot is a big revenge story. But before they were popular, I mean, there's just a lot of amazing things about this movie. But the best thing about this movie, hands down, is the big final fight between Andy, Kyle, and Chucky. That's what sets this movie apart from every other movie within this series. It shows how badass Chucky is and how hard it is to put him down. I mean, if you like sit here and think about it, he got his legs cut off. He lost his hand or he pulled out his own hand, like he ripped it, like he ripped off his own hand. Um, he got melted by that really hot liquid stuff. It was plastic, I'm pretty sure, and he still kept going. This movie by far had the best Chucky because it showed how badass he really was. Anyways, guys, this was my list, and I hope you enjoyed. Did you agree or disagree with my picks? If so, what are your guys' list? let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys very much. All the support is just crazy to me. And until next time, adieu.